Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 18 of Celestial Journey. Half of the villagers in my blood magic farm have turned into witches for some reason. No clue why. I mean, can you blame them? They're trapped in here being bled dry of their blood while being healed. But I don't know. Something that happens apparently. Anyways, today I would like to make terrasteel. So to make terrasteel, first we need to make this terrestrial amalgamation plate, which is all the tier 1 runes and some other basic stuff. So let's do it. In addition to this, we need a little bit of living rock and lapis blocks. I think it's like 5 of one and 4 of the other. So let's grab that. And then we have to build this tiny little multi-block. I actually forget which is a 5, which is a 4. I'll just grab 5 of each and we'll figure it out as we go. Alright, so the way you build it is it takes, I'm going to assume it's, let's see, the blue plate goes on a not blue item, I think is how it works. It's a 3x3 that looks like this, except I'm not sure if it should be, swapped around or not. This doesn't, you know what, we'll try it. I could look in the book, but I'm not going to. On top of that, you need some mana steel, mana pearls, and mana diamonds. And let's grab one of the magnet killers, because I don't want my magnet dragging these items away while we're working. And all you have to do is toss one of each on here. Oh, I skipped a step. We need sparks to provide this with mana. So what is a spark recipe like? Alright, nothing we can't handle. So sparks are like point-to-point energy transfer for Botania, or I guess mana transfer. So you want to put one on each mana pool that you want to supply mana with, and one on your terrestrial amalgamation plate. And then you toss one of each of those on, and after a couple seconds, the more mana pools you have providing mana, the faster the step goes. But after a couple seconds, that forms into terrasteel. So I think we needed an ingot of this to make our tier 5 blood orb, was it? The Archmage blood orb is a demon gem. That's an Elysian ingot. So yeah, I need to dump this in here. Alright. Go. Oh, I might have to take out some speed runes. I might be crafting a little too fast. Oh no, it crafted. Okay, never mind. Well, that was really fast. And then we just have to do some crafting. Alright, let me dump that in the AE system to auto-craft it. Basically, anything that has nested crafting, I just let the AE system handle, because I'm lazy. It's also one of these things that I'm sure sooner or later we'll need, a large number of demon gems. So you just dunk it in there. Once again, give it a couple seconds. With this many speed runes, it should craft pretty quickly. I think the recipe says it takes, 100,000 at 20 a tick is, let's see, drop the 0, 10,000 divide by 2. So 10,000 divided by 2, 5,000 ticks, divide by 20 again. 5,500, 250 seconds. That's like 4 minutes, but with this many speed runes, it's a lot less than 4 minutes. And I know I violated the cardinal rule of not doing math again, so I'm sure I did something wrong. Anyways, now we can check the total size of our life network. It's just under 1 million. I think it's because, we have some alchemy draining it, but with a master blood orb, it can only fill our life network up to 10 million. We should see if when it gets to 10 million, it'll stop. And that should only take another second. All right, here we go. 99, or not 10 million, 1 million. However, if we put a higher tier blood orb in, it increases, it doesn't like necessarily increase the capacity, I guess. It just increases how high it can go. I think if we upgrade our divination sigil, we can make it to the Seer's sigil. It might be able to tell us more. But anyways, the other advantage of the higher tier blood orb is it fills faster. So remember before, we were wasting a little bit of LP because the network or the blood orb wouldn't accept it fast enough. Well, now that's not a problem anymore. And I think this will go up to like 5 million, maybe 7.5 million, maybe even 10 million. Either way, it has a much higher cap than the tier 4 blood orb. So we can put this away now. It also, there's a handful of recipes that require it. So actually, let me craft one more so that we can use one for crafting and one for filling our life network. To make the dropping process a little easier, I just have an impulse hopper set to transfer one of each item when it receives a redstone signal. So you press the button, it drops one of each, and the thing crafts. One of the difficulties with crafting terrasteel is that it uses a lot of mana. In fact, I believe it's right about a half a mana pool per ingot. So with 3 mana pools providing mana, it takes about a sixth of each mana pool. Let's check. Right now this is like, I don't know, a bit above half, maybe like 55, 60%. Let's craft one and see where that mana pool ends up at. And remember, this is with the mana pool being refilled ever so slightly anyways as we go. Alright, so this is where we were, this is where it is now. So yeah, that's uses, I mean, we expect about a 1/6, right? So about 17% of a mana pool, which is pretty close to what that did. Anyways, with a little bit more terrasteel though, we can upgrade our mana generation. Ultimately, I want to use the Kekiimeras to produce our mana. It eats cake and produces mana from it. It's very simple to use because it doesn't it'll never waste cake. It only eats cake if it needs mana, and it produces a lot of mana. Then again, all the tiers, like the top tier flowers, generating flowers that use like tier 3 runes, produce a lot of mana. It's also not that difficult to make now because we have the rune of gluttony is a tier 3 rune, right? So it effectively only costs 2 blocks of mana diamonds. However, it also takes pixie dust, which means we have to get into the elven trade system. So to do that, we have to build an Elven Gateway core, which, oh dear, there is... Alright, looks like we are doing Twilight Forest today. Lamp of Cinders is like pretty far in Twilight Forest, if I recall. So we get to do a lot of flying through Twilight Forest. I'll probably cut most of it out of the video because I've done Twilight Forest in like the last 6 of my series. And it's, I don't know, not that exciting the 7th time around. If you're dying to watch it, I'd say the run in SevTech was probably the most entertaining because it involved doing it with the least amount of gear. So the question is, what item do I need to enter the Twilight Forest? Energetic alloy. It's different per pack, so all right, let's build the portal. Before we go though, I want to make some preparations because we don't have our wireless ME system won't work in the Twilight Forest, and I don't want to have to teleport back to the overworld all too often. First, I want a meat feeder. This will substitute for our food, and all I have to do is fill it with liquid meat from our mob slaughter factory, and I think you can wear it in your bauble slot. Not quite sure which one's the head. Looks like it shares a slot with the hearts, and I'd rather have the hearts. So just take an inventory slot. It works fine from your inventory. I don't need to carry food anymore. And I want to bring a tool forge and some repair material for my laser gun with me. And I think that's it. So let's prepare to go to the Twilight Forest. So to make the portal to the Twilight Forest, you just surround a 2x2 puddle of water with flowers. I think it can be any vanilla flower for sure. And then you throw the ingot in. And then you're good to go. Here's a ultra condensed guide to the Twilight Forest. Step 1, kill a raven. Step 2, make a map. Step 3, kill a naga. Step 4, kill a lich. Step 5, kill a minotaur. Step 6, kill a hydra. Step 7, kill some night phantasms. Step 8? Step 8, I think, kill an Urghast. Step 9, kill an Alpha Yeti? Maybe. Step 9, kill a Snow Queen? Maybe. Step 9, kill a giant miner and get his pickaxe. Step 10, find the giant obsidian vault and break into it with your giant pickaxe. Eventually. Maybe. And loot it. Alright, so technically we have the Lamp of Cinders and we can finish here, but there's like one step left in Twilight Forest, so we may as well do it. And step 11, approach the castle, which I think has not had its boss implemented yet. I mean, yeah. That's basically the end of the Twilight Forest. Apparently you kill a kobold. Anyways, there is your quick run-through of the Twilight Forest. With that journey out of the way, we can use our Lamp of Cinders to craft the Elven Gateway Core. Good news is it doesn't get consumed, so we don't have to go find more. The Alfheim portal is built, I guess it's kind of like a wide nether portal with some interesting bricks. So you need, it's 3x3, and you need glimmering living wood in the center on the sides, and the gateway core in the center on the bottom. So once we have that built, all that's left is you have to put 2 mana pools nearby it somewhere. You have a pretty wide range for where exactly these go, and place Natura pylons on top of those. Then we need to move a little bit of mana into these mana pools. It takes about 1/4 of a mana pool split between the two, so this should be more than enough. Then you right-click the Elven Gateway Core and it opens up. See, it drains some of the mana, a fair bit of it even, but apparently there's no upkeep cost anymore. So once the portal's open, I think you only pay for items you like when you trade. So let's see what exactly we can trade. So generally speaking, you can trade Botania items for like their Elven variants, Nether Quartz for Elven Quartz or Mana Steel for Elementium. But what we want to do now is we want to trade Mana Pearls for Pixie Dust, because Pixie Dusts let us make the Kekiimerus. So do we have any Mana Pearls left? 15, that'll do. We'll just toss them through. Oh, while we're at it, you may as well toss your Lexica Botania through too, because it gives you the documentation for the Elven parts of the mod. The book also looks pretty cool once you get it back. You get the gilded version. Anyways, when you open it now, it has more information. Ooh, reading. Another thing we can do with Elven resources is make the Elven Mana Spreader. These are basically just a straight upgrade to the normal mana spreaders. They move more mana per pulse. Putting it all together, we can now request cake-eating flowers. Let's start with 5. Yeah, go for it. So it looks like it has to craft some runes, and then it should be able to auto-craft the flower. Oh, I think I put the recipe in the wrong interface. Yeah, I have to put it in the Petal Apothecary. And this should fire itself up in just a second. Indeed. So looking at this mana spreader, it looks like our coal just finished burning. Let's drop another piece on it. It takes all 15 of these flowers to saturate the mana spreader. So if we look at these flowers, they're all burning, and most of them are not banking mana. Let's make sure they're all burning. But we can see the mana spreader is like just barely keeping up with all 15 of them running. I expect one of these flowers will outdo all 15 endo flames. So let's set it up here just as a test. Alright, so I have it bound to this mana spreader. It is the only flower bound to this mana spreader. Bind you to this mana pool as well. Bind. There we go. And then all I have to do is place a cake near here, and it should start eating it. And we can see... There we go. Well, I guess it's not... It's just barely not enough to saturate an Elven Mana Spreader. Right, I can see when it eats... So like 2 of these is more than one Elven Mana Spreader can handle. Basically means each one is equivalent to like 7-ish Endo Flames. That's somewhere between 7 and 10 Endo Flames. That's pretty darn good. The next problem we have to solve is how to get the cakes. So right now we have this villager who will trade 1 emerald for a cake. And it's pretty good, however it takes him almost 20 seconds to do it. And 1 flower could eat a cake in probably less than 20 seconds, or at least almost 20 seconds. So let's consider other options at the very least. I'm leaning towards just making it all with mystical agriculture. If we just look at this top recipe here, milk can be made with cow essence. sugar with sugar cane. I guess, I mean, we can either use nature essence or we're already growing sugar cane. So egg comes from chicken essence, and wheat can either, we're already growing wheat and we're growing nature essence. So basically, essences can produce cake. And I think that's both easier and faster than trading. Now, we could also just set up like 8 traders or something so that, if each one takes 20 seconds, well, with 8 of them, it takes, like 2 and change seconds each. But I'm going to try the mystical agriculture approach first. So right now I'm leveling up cow seeds there, and I have chicken seeds ready to go. Another thing that was gated by pixie dust here was the imaginary time block. So all we need left is, steel is pretty easy, but Appalachia Souls, which requires visiting the next Divine RPG dimension, which is just a portal out of Wildwood blocks. Basically, each tier is like use the block from the previous tier, and then you can just light the portal. And from here, we want to head in and grab some mobs. Alright, we can just snag him and bring him home with us, and then add him to our spawner. I think I can use 5 of these, 1 for the breeder farm, and 4 for the main farm. Lots of crafting steps, lots of capacitors. Thankfully, I just hit the one button and it all does it behind the scenes. So if you remember before, we had the problem where it might take too long for the crop to spread to the one in the middle. Well, now with the imaginary time block, I think it'll consistently spread much quicker. Like sometimes it'll still take, a few seconds, but it should anyways, never go like a full minute without spreading. I'd say, I won't say never, because again, the distribution is probably approximately a normal distribution, right? But like the chances of it taking a full minute or however long, I think I have like 45 seconds assigned to it, are almost 0. And in fact, I feel pretty confident even bumping that down further to like, I don't know, 20 seconds. The one time it's taken the longest has been maybe 15-ish. So yeah, I think given this, I'm not going to bother actually building a system to detect when it spreads. I mentioned there are ways to do it, but I don't think the complexity is worth the trouble. And by adding some imaginary time blocks to our farm, this is really when this method of farming really shines. I mean, look at how many things are popping off. And we can just look at like, I don't know, I guess our crafter. This is like how fast they're crafting, and let's pick an item. We can just look at the rate that redstone is being generated. Every couple seconds, we get multiple blocks of it. That's crazy. So, yeah, this our farm is now going full speed, so to speak. I did check real quick. If you look at the upper left there, under CEP, the E is the entity count, and I noticed it's not actually going up, which means that the Hopper Hawk is able to keep up with all these items dropping, which is good. Like, it looks like they build up a little bit, but after a couple seconds, I think when the stack reaches a full stack, the Hopper Hawk will pick it up. So there are no item entities being left on the ground. So to craft the cakes, I have a RF Tools crafter configured to accept raw inputs from a ME interface. The buckets should be closed loop so they never get consumed. And all that's left is to plug it in. And that is now producing cakes. The cakes I'm storing in a cache. A cache is basically a drawer, except instead of storing a fixed number of stacks, it stores a fixed number of items. So for things like cakes, which, stack to 1, storing them in a drawer is pretty inefficient, whereas storing them in a cache is more efficient. And then if you shift right click it, you can see the little lock show up in the corner. Unfortunately, there's no way to see how many items are in the cache, apparently. Well, whatever. I'll probably end up putting a storage bus on here anyways, just so that if I need cakes elsewhere, I can access them. So for the actual placement of cakes, I'm using a AE subnet, using formation planes to place the cakes. So coming out of our cache, I'm piping the cakes into an interface that's on the subnet. There's a piece of quartz fiber there to keep the two separate. And then every single flower here is in range of at least one of the 2 stacks of cake. Right now I have paired 1 flower per mana spreader. And I think when I get the Gaia tier spreaders, I can go 2-to-1. So all that's left is just pair each mana spreader to its mana pool so that they start shooting mana, and we can hear the delicious sound of cake being eaten. Part of the reason I want this many mana pools is that having more mana pools just means you have a larger mana buffer, and it means when you go to craft things like terrasteel, it'll craft faster, right? Because you have more sparks feeding into it. There we go, cake-based mana. And again, it's quite quick. These mana pools were just 100% empty. Well, I guess they're not very full right now, but yeah, it is. Oh, do I not have them paired right? Because why are these mana spreaders full? I guess they're full because the cake, or yeah, because the flower was full earlier. Once the flower drains itself, the mana spreader won't be full anymore. I'm just going to make sure real quick I have every flower paired to the spreader directly in front of it. Alright, cool. Looks good. But yeah, I think once a flower drains its internal buffer, like the internal buffer is draining faster than it's filling, although not by a large margin. It seems one spreader actually more or less perfectly keeps up with one flower. Or at least it's darn close. So I place sparks on all of those mana pools, and we can see how much faster this crafting process is. In fact, the dropping process is now probably the slowest part of the craft, right? One more set of materials in here. So once the items drop, almost immediately it gets crafted into terrasteel. Well, I guess now it's slower because my mana pools are empty. But yeah, our terrasteel production is much faster now too. The advantage of having a lot of mana pools is that, well, you have a lot of mana stored. The disadvantage is sometimes they're all like, you have a little bit of mana in each. And if you want to go craft, especially if you want to craft stuff that uses a lot of mana, like you could throw a stack of diamonds in here and you've drained one mana pool, but then you have to throw the next stack in the next pool. Well, there's a solution to that. What I'm going to do is, by placing a spark on another, on a mana pool that's not being directly fed, and then placing a dominant spark augment on that spark, or maybe it's on the pool, on the spark, you'll see that this mana pool is now being filled from all of these. So there's, I think, 4 types of spark augments. Yeah. So dispersive causes a mana pool to fill mana holding items in your inventory, like if I had a ring of mana. Dominant makes the mana pool, take mana from other pools. Recessive makes the pool give mana to other pools, and isolated makes it not interact with others. I think it makes it not interact with dominant and recessive sparks or something. I don't know exactly what it does. But anyways, now I can do all my crafting at this one pool. So I can, throw diamonds in there. I can throw ender pearls, depending on, if I want, well, whatever resource I need. I don't have to worry about, which mana pool I'm pulling mana from. Now, it pulls mana equally from all these pools, so you'll notice that some still have mana left while others are empty, but that's, it's fine by me. The next step in Botania is to go fight the Gaia Guardian. To do so, we have to make these Gaia pylons, and I think the ME system, for some reason, doesn't understand that the Lamp of Cinders doesn't get consumed in the crafting recipe, so I have to craft it by hand. But nevertheless, I'm still missing 7 terrasteel, and I've used all my mana. So I guess it'll probably take about 10 minutes for these things to generate enough mana to make the other 7 terrasteel. So let's see if I can find something to do in the meantime. Well, I'm taking this opportunity to check in on our blood magic setup, and our LP network is now once again full at, is that 10 million? Cool. There's a couple rituals I want to play with and just try. I'm going to make the book and actually read up on some of them real quick. Alright, so let me preface this by saying that this is more for fun than any practical value. There's a ritual called the Mark of the Falling Tower, which pulls a meteor into the ground, and sometimes that meteor has cool stuff in it. I doubt it's configured in this pack to have anything particularly unique, because I just don't think there's any, there's none of the crazy space mods or any other. There's basically no exotic ores in the pack that could be unique to this ritual. I know some packs make very good use of it to as a source for rare materials. Anyways, it takes somewhere around 100 ritual stones. So I think that's it. Just keep right clicking until it's done, I guess. And it looks like it's still gone. There we go. So I think that may have been exactly 100 ritual stones. And then to activate it, we actually need the Awakened tier activation crystal. Hello? Lag? Game crashed. Anyways, I'm back and my inventory didn't get deleted. So to activate this ritual, we need the Master or the Awakened activation crystal, and I think 1 million LP. So right now we're just short of 10 million. And it looks like it doesn't take any to activate. What it does take, though, you then have to throw a block on it. Either, I think it's like iron, diamond, or there's a third option. But diamond is the highest tier. That costs 5 million LP and causes a meteor to fall on the ground, including a very sad sheep. I think the meteor has a tendency to destroy a couple of the ritual stones, so like you technically have to replace a few of them every to go. But yeah, it looks like all we got are vanilla ores. But you know, for certain time, like sometimes it's a fun challenge to automate the both the execution of this ritual and the collection of the resultant ores. It's more interesting when the reward is actually, you know, worthwhile. All these ores are just stuff that I already have plenty of. But it's a fun ritual just for that big meteor falling from the sky. So I had this brilliant idea that if the AE system didn't know that the Lamp of Cinders wouldn't, you know, it wouldn't be consumed in the crafting, why don't I just request them one at a time? Well, it turns out when you craft it through the AE system, it actually does eat your Lamp of Cinders. So I don't know if that's a bug, but I'm not going to go get another one because it says right there in big bold text that it does not get used up when it clearly got used up. So I think I suspect crafting it by hand won't use it up, but let me confirm that. So let's see. Yeah, I think it's the same problem that don't worry about it. It's a craft tweaker problem. I don't know if you can fix that bug, like if the pack developer can fix the bug, but for now, I'll just craft these by hand. Fact of the matter is, I think we only ever need to make the 4 of them, unless they're used in crafting recipes somewhere, which they're not. Anyways, let's go set up our arena to fight the boss, but I had an idea. What if I fight it in an RF Tools shield projector set to like damage mode? Can I more or less automate the fight that way? Let's find out. Alright, I built the arena in a shield generator. Let's see if it works. Well, it spawned the boss. I should check to make sure I have damage. Oh, I guess I'm not leaving yet. I think I have damage turned on. Oh, looks like he just falls right through it and doesn't actually get damaged by it though. I'll check afterwards, make sure I actually have hostile mob damage on, though. I'm actually dying. I can't quite tell how much health I have. I don't have anything that prevents wither in this pack, so I guess we just have to fight him the old-fashioned way. That'd be an awfully hard time shooting him. And this is only the first Gaia Guardian. I guess the second fight. Well, okay, I definitely have damage on because it's insta-killing the mobs he spawns. So I guess that's good. I mean, it helps at least a little bit then. But it doesn't seem like it damages him, unfortunately. Well, whenever you want to be done dancing up there. Please? Thank you. Alright, there we have it. The Guardian of Gaia. I'm going to make a couple changes and try again. First of all, I noticed that he was falling through the shield, so maybe he doesn't count as a hostile entity. I'm going to try adding passive mobs as damage. I also added solid to items, so items just aren't glitching in it. And I'm going to try changing the damage type to player damage. So between the three of those, I don't know, but between those changes, maybe something will cause it to, automatically damage him. Because I'm doing player damage, it uses more energy, so I'm going to go ahead and also feed RF on a couple more sides. So when I turn this on, we can see it definitely damaged the mob because it killed the owl there, and items are still falling through it for some reason. Item solid. Let's try that again. Alright, I think the items falling through is just a visual glitch, because when I throw the item, you can see it looks like it falls through, but it'll keep rubber banding up, and when I get close to it, my magnet pulls it back up, so I think that's just a visual glitch. I'm not going to worry about it. Anyways, let's grab one more piece of terrasteel and try this again. I'm not expecting it to work, but I'll be pleasantly surprised if it does. Alternatively, maybe he counts as a player mob? But it looks like he is not taking damage, is he? Alright, well, I'm just going to kill him manually then. Well, despite our failure to automatically kill the Gaia Guardian, we still were able to kill it and get these Gaia spirits. So, the bad news is we are going to need a lot of these in the, I guess, like, not quite yet, but soon, because it takes 3 to make one of these gems, and these gems are used to make all the subcomponents for Wyvern gear and, by extension, Draconic gear. So I don't think this is stuff like, I don't think this is something we'll need to make, hundreds of thousands of. But just at a glance, it looks like we'll have to kill the Gaia Guardian, a couple hundred times at least at this rate. So I'm hoping we can automate it to some extent, but that's a later problem. For now, let's wrap up this episode here with a bunch of cake power. Look at all these mostly full mana pools. I realized I should have swapped these out for the double mana pools, but now that they're mostly full, I don't want to break them. So I guess next time I use up most of my mana, I'll swap them out for double mana pools. In any event, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.